अस्सलाम वालेकुम, दिस इज़ आज़ाद मीडिया। आई एम सलमान दुरानी। बांग्लादेश में जो सूरत हाल पैदा हो चुकी है, वहाँ की वज़ीर आज़म हसीना वाजिद ने इस्तीफ़ा दे दिया और अब जो सिचुएशन वहाँ पर बन चुकी है, प्रोटेस्ट जारी हैं। लेकिन वहाँ के जो आर्मी चीफ़ हैं, उनकी तकरीर के बाद कि क्या सूरत हाल है, मैं चाहता हूँ कि मैं वहाँ की सूरत हाल वहीं के किसी एनालिस्ट से की ज़ुबानी आपको सुनाऊँ। मेरे साथ इस वक़्त मौजूद हैं सलीम समद साहब। सलीम समद साहब सीनियर एनालिस्ट हैं, बांग्लादेश से इस वक्त ढाका में मौजूद हैं। सर वेलकम। क्या सूरत हाल देख रहे हैं? पहले तो आप ये बताइए कि इस हिस्टोरिक ओकेजन पर इस लम्हे आप क्या फील कर पा रहे हैं?
Actually, you know very well. I mean, you are already informed. The Sheikh Hasina has resigned from her premiership, and she has submitted the resignation to the president according to the constitution, and she has left the country with her only sister. This is first thing first. The second is the military is negotiating with all the political parties right now to agree to an interim governments with a name. In fact, yes, sorry, that there's an addition and deletion in the list of the interim government. So the interim government, hopefully, by tomorrow, they will take oath to for the next 3 months according to the constitution. So for 90 days, within 90 days, they have to hold an election. An election has to be free, fair, and inclusive. I mean, that has a promise that they have to make. Otherwise, right now, if you look into the city, the capital, so everything, thousands of millions of people are already in the street. And like in Colombo and like Kabul, so they have occupied, the protesters have occupied the prime minister's office, the prime minister's official residence, and of course, so there is a lot of jubilation.
अच्छा, सलीम साहब, लोग ये भी जानना चाहते हैं बिकॉज आउट ऑफ बांग्लादेश पीपल वर लुकिंग, बांग्लादेश जो है 3 साल मतलब कि 3 दफ़ा रहने वाली वज़ीर आज़म आपकी, जिन्होंने बांग्लादेश को इकोनॉमिक जो है बूस्ट दिया है और जो बांग्लादेश है वो स्टेबिलिटी की तरफ बढ़ रहा था। तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली प्रॉम्प्टेड के इतना जो क्या क्या मुतालबात ऐसे आ गए जो कि अचानक इतने ज़्यादा जो है वो मुजाहिरों में तब्दील हो गए और अब ये सूरत हाल बन गई?
If you're talking about economic progress, the
जी
economic development.
जी
Okay, let me describe. I mean, yes, it is true that like any other countries, any other third world countries, economically, yes, we are doing good. Not because of the government blessing. That's not correct. That is totally a wrong picture given to different media, international media. This contribution, I mean, if you are looking about economic development, economic progress is absolutely by the private sector, totally by the private sector. And that private sector also involves the farmers, because their contribution in the GDP, if you look into the statistics, is the highest. The highest GDP is contributed from the agriculture sector. The agriculture sector means, of course, it is the farmers. So the farm produce has gigantically has increased. Whether it's called fish, it's called chicken, it has 10 times fold has increased production. So obviously you can understand that there is a huge plus. Of course, you again private sector. This is the export. You're talking about the garments. If you're talking about other products which has been exported, it's all in the private sector. The government doesn't export a single dollar. They don't have. They cannot manage. They are very bad managers. And the third thing which has really could have further done better in economic development if there was not a booty, the corruption, the money laundering. The most of the politicians have bought home as a second home in Malaysia, in Dubai, and United States and other countries. So that is also an issue that has really made the people very angry with the ruling party, because they have been in power for the last 15 years, constantly. So there has been a progress, not by the government. So the government's policy is also needs to be, I hope, the next future government will be more interactive. More interactive means proactive to the export industry, because there are a lot of investors, foreign investors. I mean, that is the last part I want to explain. the FDI, direct investments. Most of the FDI are lying in the office for approval for months and years. So they are not able to invest. Even if they have invested, they found that the internet is not working. They found that there is no road communication. So there are a lot of problems with the firing. So this has to also be has to be augmented.
अच्छा, सलीम साहब, आफ्टर आफ्टर मैथ ऑफ व्हाट हैज दैट हैपन टुडे, आप क्या देख रहे हैं कि अवामी लीग का फ्यूचर क्या है? कैन यू हेयर मी? मैं पूछ रहा हूँ, ये जो आज हुआ है, इन आफ्टर मैथ ऑफ ऑल दिस व्हाट हैड हैपन इन बांग्लादेश आज, इसके बाद आप अवामी लीग का फ्यूचर कैसे देखते हैं?
The future.
Yeah, future of Awami
Awami
League.
League is the only Awami League is the only political party. It is really an Awami, means people. And so that's a Farsi word. So that's not a Bangla word. So Awami League has a interestingly, though despite being a party from the majority party from Bangladesh, have a foreign name. Awami Awami is a Farsi and League is in English. So you can see it is mixed in. They don't have a Bangla name for Awami League. Okay. The second thing is Awami League is the only political party which has members in the grassroots, supporters in the grassroots, the voters in the grassroots. I mean, at the village. If you look into other political parties, like the former, well, now the opposition leader, opposition means the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, they do not have penetration in the voters regime in the villages. They never got votes from the. So that is the major second largest party, and there is one. We have a loyal opposition, loyal to the Bangladesh Awami League. That is the Jatiya Party, which is formed by a former military dictator called General Ershad. That party actually also has another problem. They also doesn't have supporters or voters in the rural areas, except some small cities. They do have support. I'm not sure why they support or why they vote for Jatiya Party. And the last is Jamaat Islam. Jamaat Islam has been routed in Pakistan several times in the past elections. Similarly, in Bangladesh, they never did very well. They only got 4% vote. So if Jamaat Islami is very clever, very smart, despite they are mullahs, they are very conservative, they are radicalized, but they are very smart. So they had to make a partnership, a political partnership, or maybe allies with somebody whom they can trust. So it was the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. They made an ally. So they will give that 44% vote, and instead they wanted to have. So in some constituencies, so the BNP did not select a BNP guy to be the contestant. They only had Jamaat Islam. So all the BNP vote went for Jamaat Islam. But that's how they got few. So that is the scenario of the Bangladesh political parties.
Right, Salim sir, sitting in Dhaka, how you see the situation? Like, what next? People want to know.
Right now, of course, everybody is revelers and jubilant, and of course, they are trying to settle their scores. Of course, I can understand sitting in front of you that I can understand that many of the member of parliament homes and offices will be attacked because of their past misdeeds. That I will not. I don't want them. I do not believe in violence and vandalism myself. I'm a very pacifist person, but I cannot. I cannot check them not to vandalize. Of course, this has a happening since 3 o'clock. This afternoon, long before the military went on air to declare that Sheikh Hasina has left the country. But by that time, already the vandalism and most of the police have fled because of the past year. You must be knowing, but in the last week, I mean, if you not by days, but if you take 7 days, the last 7 days, total 9 days since 15th. In the last 9 days, in the last 15 days, police have killed more than 300 people.
All right.
And majority of them, according to a study, majority, 78% had no political affiliation. They were not students. So you can understand the police have randomly shot and killed whoever they think is somebody a threat. So obviously, police have all have fled. I don't know how where they have fled, but of course, the military is trying to help them to recover. The paramilitary force is already guarding the police station and the headquarters, police headquarters. So hopefully that will not be vandalized. But police will have to explain why they have killed so many people. And and the last thing is the army chief has already promised that he is going to ensure that the interim government, during the interim government, that all the murders by the police are taken into account.
इस वक्त कोई ऑपोजिशन पार्टी नहीं है, तो ये कैसे मेक श्योर करेंगे कि जो आर्मी है वो पूरे का पूरा सिस्टम जो है वो हैंड ओवर नहीं करेगी या नहीं करेगी विद इन कमिंग डेज इन बांग्लादेश?
Okay, I understand. I mean, first of all, as I have mentioned, actually, literally, there is no opposition in Bangladesh. Opposition means in the parliament, number one. Number two, they have a loyal opposition who are, of course, loyal to the ruling party. So they sit in the opposition bench, but they don't have a say because they don't have a say in the parliament because nobody listens to them.
I understand this.
So that is one issue. Okay, and the second is literally the largest opposition is the Bangladesh Nationalist Party.
Okay.
And let me tell you one thing. This is very important for your audience. That we have all the political parties, the two major political parties, two major opposition party, like the Jatiya Party and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, are both formed by the former military ruler. So the credibility of those parties is questionable. But still then, they have not been routed out. They are still in the politics. But the worst is that the leader of the opposition, like the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the leader is absolutely bedridden, and she is hospitalized for the last several months and years. And the acting chairman of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party is in exile in London. And he cannot return to Bangladesh because there is two High Court has upheld the case, the verdict for his penalty, death penalty, and one is life imprisonment. Obviously, that is an upheld by the Supreme Court. So it will be very difficult for him to come back and take over charge of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. But this is one issue. So there is another technical problem among the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So this is one issue. And Bangladesh Nationalist Party, majority of the senior leaders who had been formed by the General Ziaur Rahman. So those leaders have already had been phased out. I am not mentioning they have been deliberately phased out or they are tired that they are never been able to come back to politics and go to the parliament.
Okay, Salim
so
Saab,
obviously
to conclude it,
I have the fourth party is Jamaat Islami.
Right. To conclude it, I just want to know that how you see the impact of this happening in Bangladesh for the South Asia, the whole region.
I can definitely Bangladesh, of course, is surrounded by India, so obviously the Bangladesh will have to have a better relation with India, because the third neighbor is Myanmar. So Myanmar, there is civil war and war-ravaged country. So obviously Bangladesh doesn't have much relationship. If you're talking about the regional geopolitical, yes, the Americans have a lot of interest. They have already made Bangladesh to join the Quad. So the Quad is, of course, an alliance which is anti-China. And again, China's major development partner is China. Again, the biggest other development partner is India. So you got infrastructure development. So both India and China is a major partner in this region. Pakistan is far away, so it is very difficult to talk about the relationship with Bangladesh and Pakistan. But one thing you can understand that whatever relationship you have with India and Afghanistan and Iran is also applicable for us. We have to have a better relation with the neighbors.
सलीम साहब, आपके टाइम का बहुत शुक्रिया।